In this video, I will be showcasing the creation and search functionality of our lobby. We'll cover various customization options and improvements in the next part, as this video is already quite lengthy. However, for now, we can create lobby description, set password, select player count, enable voice chat, and even designate the lobby as a LAN lobby. Additionally, in our lobby search feature, we'll have a list of available lobbies. This aspect will also be further improved in the next video. And of course, we can join lobbies without any issues. A strong foundation has been established. Good luck with your own lobby creation or using this project for testing purposes. Stay tuned for more EIK features to be implemented in upcoming videos. Welcome back. We are finally moving to create our lobby functionality. For that, well, we first need our lobby map, so let's create one by duplicating our menu map. Name it Lobby Map. Open it, and first, let's change menu to Lobby. Now let's move the camera away to make room for 3 more player spots. Add more scale to our planes. Select both the pedestal and player start, hold Alt and drag by the green gizmo arrow. Select the first spot and player start, and set the Y value to -900 for easy math. Select the second spot and start, and set the Y to -600. Drag one more spot, and set the Y to -300. And the last one, and set it to 0. Now we have equally distanced player start spots. Select the camera and adjust it to fit all in its view. Now we need a lobby creation widget. As usual, it needs to be of the activatable widget class. Name it AWB_lobby creation. Add an overlay and a comment button. Set alignment center for horizontal and bottom for vertical with a bottom padding of 200. Add a common border, make it fill, and make sure it's above the button in the hierarchy. Add blur, fill, and set the strength to 50. Name the button Create Lobby and set the style to hovered green. Add an on-clicked event to the graph. Creating lobbies is super easy with EIK Kit. You just search for the Create EIK Lobby node, drag off the session settings, and type Make Map. For the map key, we will use Map, and for the value, we will use Lobby so we can find it in the Epic Dev dashboard. To do so, drag off the value node and search for Make EIK Attributes and in the string type Lobby. Let's hardcode 4 open connections for now. Then, on a successful creation of the lobby, we print the string lobby ID just to know it's all good. Now, to open the lobby map, there are 3 ways and none of them are wrong. You can use Open Level by name. You can use Open Level by object reference. And lastly, you can use Execute Console command. For the command, we use server travel followed by our map name, lobby map, and add a question mark and listen. In the case of open level by reference, we can just select our map and in the options field, add a question mark and listen. And for open level, we need to write our map name, lobby map, and add a question mark and listen. In making games, there are various ways to do stuff. It doesn't make one better than the other. Sometimes there are dead ends for sure, but if a road leads you to the end goal, was it a bad road? Sometimes, sure, there are bad coding practices, as long as you don't make it a habit. Add print string for failure. And yes, we need our main menu button to open our lobby creation widget. Add an on-clicked event. Get the owning player and add a push menu call and set our lobby creation activatable widget. Now open the login map and it's testing time. It loads and here we are, our glorious lobby. Our main menu is also here. We will fix that, but first let's see if our lobby was actually created online. And here it is. Our lobby was found. Awesome. Now, for testing purposes, I add 2 to our map name, and we'll use the by object reference node to create our lobby. And here it is. And lastly, let's use the console command. Everything works. Let's stick with the console variant. For creation, anything goes. But when the lobby is created and you want to switch the map for all connected players, only the server travel command will do that. Now, onto the appearing main menu in the lobby. We're using the same controller from the menu map for our lobby map. The controller gets destroyed during the travel between maps, and then the lobby map is created. So our menu controller is created anew and triggers its begin play event. To test the changes, we don't need to go through the login. We can just open the lobby map. And as you can see, even our prompt is functioning. It's because we duplicated our menu map and with it, the master binder, so everything functions as it should, which is great, but we need the lobby widget, not the main menu. To avoid creating a new controller for our lobby map, we will use logic to check which map our controller is on and branch out accordingly. For both cases, we need the base UI widget to be created. The push menu should be just for the menu map, and getting the master binder should happen in both cases. There is a handy function named getCurrentLevelName. From the return value, do a switch on string. Add 2 pins for our 2 maps. Remove the default pin and name one menu map and the other one lobby map. As I said, we need our base UI creation, so drag it in front of the switching. The push menu will be after the menu map switch. And we can also get the master binder in both cases, so add it after the widget creation. Connect all the nodes. Now, if we play the lobby map, there will be no more menu map. Let's copy the push for the lobby, and since we don't have a lobby widget yet, let's create one. In the widget menus, create one more activatable widget and name it AWB_lobby widget. As usual, add an overlay and a button. Align it to the bottom left and set the padding to 20 on the left and bottom. Name the button Close Lobby. Add an on-clicked event to the graph. Closing the lobby is super easy. Just use the Destroy EIK session node. To get the player ID, get the player controller and look for the net ID. Add a print string for failure. On success, we print a string to know that we successfully closed the lobby. And just open our main menu level on success. No need for listen option as we leaving session. Let's test it. And don't forget to change the push to the lobby widget for the lobby map. Trying to close the lobby when it was not created will give us an error, but it's fine. It's expected behavior as we start map on its own. Let's open the login map and create a lobby to test our Close Lobby button. I noticed my mistake. First, let's see if it's online. And it is. Now, let's press the Close Lobby button. And it's gone. Great. Everything works. Now, let's create a lobby search widget. As usual, make it an activatable class and name it AWB_lobby browser. And as always, add an overlay and a button. Align it to the horizontal center and vertical bottom with a padding of 50 for the bottom. Name it Search Lobbies. Add a common border and blur, and for both set alignments to fill. Set the blur strength to 50. Add a button on clicked event. To find lobbies, we will use the Find EIK session node. Drag session settings and make map. Make sure to leave the map field empty, as we are looking for any open lobby. Drag off the session results and use the Get a Copy function. For now, we just want to do a quick test to see if everything is working. Drag from the Success node and add the Join EIK session node. Connect our found session with the session to join. It's that simple. Add a print for failure. Let's add a print string before the join node to know that we found the session and are joining it. That's it. Join EIK session will do the heavy lifting for us. No need to add the map to join or anything. Let's just print the result as a string. Convert the result enum to a string first. All good. Now let's add this to the menu and it's testing time. In the mode settings, set the number of players to 2. Now, playing in the editor, or in short, playing in PIE, won't work for joining sessions. In this case, we join with the same account, so no same account can create and later join the same session. Let's turn on our debug in game instance for being able to choose the login method. Go to the game instance and set use persistent to false. Now, in PIE, we can log in with one account, create a lobby, and so on. But it won't work for the second account. For proper testing, we need to use the standalone game mode. Loading in this mode takes longer, but it emulates a real game launch. We create the lobby using the device ID, and in the next window, we use persistent and search for our lobby. It worked, for the most part. We have some issues. One is the camera for the client, and we can't see the mouse. Also, if the host closes the lobby, the client gets kicked back to the login map. Let's close it and start fixing. In the lobby widget, look for the onActivated event. Get the player controller, set input mode to UI only, and add set show mouse cursor and set it to true. Next, in the menu controller for the lobby map, get the world camera. We can't get it like we did in the map blueprint. Here, we need to get the actor of the class and set it as a Scene A camera actor. Drag off the return value and search for Set View Target with Blend. No need to set the controller, as it's a native function to it. Now, to check how the lobby looks now, we don't need to go through the entire login process. We can use the Listen Server simulation. For the net mode, set play as Listen Server. And let's open the lobby map. And now we can play in PIE. Our camera fix didn't work, but at least we have our mouse. And closing the game gave us an error. That will be an easy fix. The error occurred because it didn't find a valid widget when adding it to the viewport. The case is, I'm not heavily familiar with the technicalities, but playing as a Listen server with 2 clients is actually 3 instances of the game. One is the Listen server client and 2 regular clients. The server client doesn't have a controller created for it, so it throws an error. For that, there is a function called isLocalController. Do a branch, and if it's local, then we do our logic. If not, we do nothing. Now, if we close it, no more errors. Back to the client camera. The issue is that the client possesses the character when joining the lobby. Even then possession is disabled. It still does it. And we have the server looking through the level camera view, while the client possesses the character and uses the character's camera. Well, I have no idea what the particular issue is, and normally, the pedestal would be an actor or some other method to spawns the player's character and sets it to use their skin and whatnot. So, there's no reason to beat our heads over it, as it's not the normal way to make a lobby. It's just an example. We can even make a lobby, let's say, like in Helldivers, where the lobby is a ship and all players can just walk in it, waiting for a match. Maybe we'll do it. We'll see. For now, we'll stick to a static lobby. To hotfix the camera issue before swapping to the level camera, let's add a delay. Also, get the player camera manager and add a start camera fade node. Set the alpha to 5 and the duration to 2. It's a bit better, but still needs some fine-tuning. In the end, I settled for a delay of 2 seconds and camera fade duration of 2.5. Now let's make the lobby close properly. Open our menu game mode blueprint graph. In the game mode, we add 2 events, one on post-login and the second one on logout. I think the names are self-explanatory. Drag the new player and promote it to a variable, naming it all connected players. Delete variable from graph and change its container to an array. Get the array and search for the add function. Connect the new player to be added to the array. We can also add a print string if needed. On logout, we don't add, but remove the exiting controller. Make sure to remove the item, not items. For some reason, the exiting controller is of the object type, not the controller type, so it's not a match. We need to cast it to the player controller. Unfortunately, I failed to do that due to a misclick. Connect the player controller to remove on successful cast. Casting to a native C++ class is almost costless. In our case, the menu controller is a child of the player controller, so it's like turning your head in a room and saying, "Hey, you, player controller, do this." Because it's already in memory, like all the native Unreal Engine C++ classes. In short, casting to a native Unreal Engine C++ class is more than fine. No need for an interface. Moving on with the lobby closure, let's create a custom event named Server Lobby Shutdown. Get all connected players. Now let's take care of the clients. Go to the menu controller and create a custom event named Leave EIK Lobby. In the details, set replication to run on owning client. It's preferred that events running on the client side start with the prefix client underscore. For me, Blueprint Assist creates one automatically, then I choose replication mode. To be lazy, we can just go to the lobby widget and copy the logic for the close lobby button. Let's go back to the menu game mode. Drag off the array and search for the for each loop. Since we have the player controller, we don't have direct access to our custom controller event. We need an interface. Go to the Blueprint Interface folder and create a new interface named BPI_player controller. Name the function PCI_leave EIK session without any inputs. In the class settings for the menu controller, add our interface. Double-click on the Leave EIK Session Interface event and call our client Leave EIK Lobby event. Now in the game mode, we can finally tell the client to leave the EIK session. But if we do it like that, the result will be the same as when we first closed the session for the host. For the array index, check if it's equal to 0. If it's not, we close the session. The host is the first in the array as they logged in first. Since we don't have host migration set up, that will do. After the loop is done with its task, add a delay, and then close the session for the host. We can just drag off all connected players and get a copy of the first array player, which is the host. Call the same Leave EIK session event. Now go back to the lobby widget, disconnect the nodes, and get our game mode. we can't call our server event directly, so we need another interface to not have use casting. Name it BPI_lobby game mode. For the function, name it LGM_shutdown lobby. Add the interface in the class settings of the menu game mode. As all events in the game mode run as server, we can just use the interface event as is. Now in the lobby widget, we can call our interface to shut down the lobby. But first, we need to check who is clicking the button. Look for the isServer function. Do a branch, and if it's true, we call the server shutdown event. If it's not the server, the player can just leave regularly. If we did everything correctly, it should work. Time to test it. So now, if I click this, both the server and the client should go back to the main menu. It worked just like in our blueprints. Amazing! Now we can switch to one player and play in PI. It's time to make our lobby creation more customizable. Now let's start building our lobby creation widget. Go to our text styles and create a new one named Big Red. Set the font size to 44. The red color is not very appealing, and the shadow doesn't work. I'll copy this color from the Batide example as I liked it. If you also like it, you can copy hex color code. It looks a bit better now, but on a gray background, it still doesn't look great. Let's make the border black. Now it looks better. Let's open the menu map for fast access to our menu. It looks good, but it needs more blur. Now let's add a back button. Returning to the menu is easy with a common UI. We just need to deactivate the widget. Since it uses stacking, we first add the menu widget to the stack, then we add the lobby creation widget. By deactivating it, we remove it from the stack, and the stack before it is pushed to the menu. Add a size box to the common border, and inside the size box, add a vertical box and a common text widget. Let's create a new text style called Common Red and set the same color as the big red text. Override the size box width to 700 and height to 500. Set the text as Lobby Setup. Add another common text widget, set it to red, and name it Short Description. Add an editable text widget to the vertical box. Set the hint text to Lobby Description. Set the font to Montserrat Bold. Select both the common text and editable text elements. If the duplicate option works, press it, or like me, struggle to duplicate. Alternatively, you can copy and paste them inside the vertical box. Name it password if any. If you want the password to be hidden while typing, set the isPassword property to true. Name it player count. Add combo box string. Wrap the player count with a combo box using a horizontal box. Add 4 options for the player count and set one as selected option. Note that changing the combo box size seems to take effect only after compiling. Add checkbox. I don't like the default small size of the checkbox, so I will double it. To avoid typing each field manually, I'll copy the image size and use Shift plus left click to select the rest. Name each input variable with appropriate names. Add an event on selection change for the player count combo box. Add an on-state change event for both checkboxes. Promote both checkboxes to variables with appropriate names. Create integer variable and name it player count. Drag player count variable and select Set Player Count. Set its default value to 1. Drag off the selected item in the combo box event and search for the string to integer function. Connect it with the player count variable. Collapse all the nodes for lobby creation into a macro and name it Create Lobby. Open the macro and choose the inputs we need or want. The number of public connections is necessary. You can split or make additional settings as desired. We also need the LAN match setting and the option to use voice chat. I noticed that I forgot to add events for the lobby description and password. Add an on-text changed event for each of them. Name them appropriately and create variables for each text. Connect the exposed inputs we created in the setup. Now, in the session setup map, add a pin for the new key. Name it Lobby Description. Drag value 1 and make an EIK attribute. Add a text input named Lobby Description. Connect it to the string input, and the designer will automatically add the conversion function. Move the output out of the way as we don't need it. If you receive an error because the text had no input, adding the lobby description variable should fix it. Add one more pin in the settings map for lobby password. Make EIK attribute. Since it's another text, create a text input. For now, that should be enough. Switch to the login map to test it. Don't enable LAN for now, as it needs a fix and won't appear in our search since we're not looking for LAN sessions. Everything looks good. The player count, lobby description, password, and voice chat all work fine. Everything is working as expected. For now, the work for lobby creation is done. We get back and improve it more in next video. Let's move on to working with the lobby browser widget button for going back. I named the buttons here, but I neglected to name pretty much everywhere else. However, it's good practice to name buttons as their names are reflected in the event graph. For the back button, use the deactivate widget function. Here, just duplicate the elements and name them accordingly. For example, game mode is just a made-up name. It might be a setting for when I add the game settings part in the lobby creation. Now, select all the text elements in horizontal box, align them horizontally to the left, vertically center them, and set the size to fill. I forgot to add the voice chat text element. Make sure to add it. Everything seems good so far. Now, add a size box to the overlay. Override the width to 1800 and the height to 800. Add a scroll box inside our size box. The scroll box will serve as the container for the found lobbies. Name it and set it as a variable, as we will most definitely use it. Now, let's switch to the graph, as here we will be implementing the logic for showing the available lobbies. Delete the join logic, as we won't be using it here. Now, on success, we will create a widget. However, since we don't have one yet, let's create another one. This time, it will be a common user widget, not activatable. This widget will be added to the list of entries. Name it as WB_lobby entry. Now, let's go back to the lobby browser and copy all the text. This will save us some time. Select the desired text to see how it will look as a lobby entry in the search list. Select all the text in the horizontal box and make them variables. Now, Let's make a custom event to set all the variables of our lobby entry widget. Create a custom event and name it Construct Lobby Entry. Name each variable appropriately for each text. Drag the lobby host text and set its text. Drag the text into the event to create an input and name it lobby host. Drag the map name variable and also create an input for it, naming it lobby map name. Do the same for the game mode text. For the player count, we need to format the text. Type open curly brackets, current, close curly brackets, then /, open curly brackets, total, close curly brackets. Press enter, and you will get two inputs. Create inputs in the event for the current player count and the total player count, both of integer type. Drag the lobby type text and set its text. Drag the text and add a select node. For option 0, type private, and for option 1, type open. Set the index to a Boolean. In the lobby entry event, add a string named lobby password. Drag the lobby password text and search for as empty and connect it with the index. The logic is simple. If no password was typed, we show that the lobby is open, and if there is a password, then the lobby is private. The functionality of entering a password to join a lobby will be implemented in the next video. Now, add an on-join clicked event. Add a join EIK session node. Promote the session to join to a variable. Set expose on spawn to true. Create print strings for success and failure. Now, go back to the lobby browser, and as I compiled it, it told us what our next step is. But first, drag off the session result and add a for each loop node. Now set our lobby entry widget to be created. Connect the array element of the for each loop with our session to join exposed variable. Call our construct lobby entry event, and now we have a lot of stuff to fill in. Drag an array element and break the structure. Drag the session setting and use the find function. Now, here I thought I could cut corners using the native setting for the username, but it did not work, or I overlooked something. For now, let's ignore it. We will create our own entry for the hostname. Do another find for the map key. Break the attribute and set it as the name of our lobby map. As for the game mode, we don't have an entry for it at the moment, so let's just hardcode a value. Do another find for the password. Make sure you use the same key value, or it won't work. I have no idea if it is case sensitive, but let's assume it is. For the player count, just open the hidden values in the broken session find structure and connect it to the lobby entry values. Now I've noticed that I forgot to include the voice entry. We need to select it for text. The index is a Boolean, and for false, name it disabled, and for true, name it enabled. Don't forget to make it an input. The session find structure doesn't have an output for the voice setting, so I guess we need to pass it as a session setting in order to retrieve it. Add a pin in the lobby session setting and name it voice chat enabled. Make EIK attribute and set it as a Boolean. Drag the scroll box variable and look for Add Child. Drag our created widget to be added as a child to the scroll box. Now, if we did everything correctly, it should work. So let's test it. Set the number of players to 2 and play in standalone. It worked for the most part. There's an issue with the host name, but all the other values are correctly set and shown in the lobby entry. The joining button also works. Great. Let's fix the host name. I tried one more time with lowercase, but still nothing worked, so let's just create our own entry. Add a pin for the EIK lobby map and name it lobby host. Make an EIK attribute. Set its string value to get player nickname. This will give us the logged-in Epic account name. Now use this key for the lobby host in our find node. Testing time. It works. We also got the last session name because I was testing other ways and probably didn't close the session correctly. Just for the sake of it, since I made the lobby for only one player, I tried to join, and as you would expect, it didn't let us. Add a common text to the overlay, set the style to big red, and name it searching. Add 2 periods. Set the default visibility to collapsed and make it a variable. Duplicate the searching text and name it No Lobbies Found. We can toggle off their visibility. Out of sight, out of mind. We will show and collapse those texts when needed. Now, in the graph, drag our searching text and set its visibility to non-hit testable. Just in case we search a second time and the No Lobbies Found text is shown, we need to collapse it. Also, before each search, we need to clear all entries from the scroll box, so we use the Clear Children function. Now, get the session result length and check if it's equal to 0. Use a branch to add entries if it's true. Also, collapse the searching text when we find results. And for failure, collapse searching text and show the No Lobbies Found text. Old habits die hard. Setting it as visible costs more CPU power to draw, but since we don't need to click it, we use Not Hit Testable instead. Well, everything looks good. Testing time. Okay, it sort of works. We have a lobby created, and it's not showing, but the searching and No Lobbies Found text work. No lobbies are shown because we are using the wrong branch for the length value. Add a not Boolean to fix it. Well, it does work. There are some old unclosed sessions, but we see our proper one as an entry. Well, at least we know multiple entries are added. Searching again removes the old ones and then adds the new ones. And joining works as it should. Closing the lobby doesn't kick our client to the login. So, everything working great. In the next video, we will do more customization for the lobby, such as selecting a map in game mode. For the browser, we will add a button to expand the lobby to read the description and check the lobby settings. We will also add a password input. In short, there is still some work that needs to be done to call it complete. But depending on your project, it can be customized or changed to fit your needs and preferences. See you in the next one.